What up, homies? It's your boy Stev, and welcome to The Bracket. Back in 2020, like most of the world, me and Ash didn't have a lot going on, so we decided to make a list of the 130 greatest movies of all time and pit them against each other, tournament style, to see which ones came out on top. We judged them against each other in 5 categories: production, writing, acting, originality, and rewatchability. Whichever movie took the most categories moved on. Don't get me wrong, it was rarely unanimous between us, but it was always a lot of fun. Just a heads up, we did record these a few years ago, so if the timeline feels a bit weird, that's why. If you want to check out the list of the 130 movies, I'll put a link to our website in the description below. So without further ado, let's all go back to the land of 2020, where all we did was sit at home, drink excessively, and watch flicks. Enjoy.
How much are these sticks? They're from Amazon, so they can't be that much.
Oh no, they're from fucking Amazon. That cost like $20. Not even.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if you break it, it's whatever.
yeah.
Cool. How's it going?
It's going okay.
Yeah? Do you like the movies we picked?
I liked one.
You're listening to the movie podcast. All right, so right off the bat, we're gonna start. All right, my 2 favorite overachieving underachievers: Max Fisher versus Ferris Bueller. What do you got?
Ferris Bueller has been a classic since I was a kid, though. Like, I love that movie.
Agreed.
Okay. And it's so unfortunate that we put it up against a movie that I've never seen.
Okay.
So automatically I knew I was going to like Ferris more. I gave Max Fisher a chance. I think it was a movie a whole lot about nothing.
Okay, well that's the thing, right? And I can see the nostalgia factor, right? You've seen Ferris Bueller a billion times. There's that nostalgia bit, but maybe watching something new might be better because you've never seen it before, right?
Yeah.
It's like something fresh. But I mean, how do you beat Ferris Bueller, right?
See, the movie to me was just about nothing.
Yeah, actually,
I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel bad for him at any point. I know this is the unspoiled version, but the whole movie, I just didn't really feel anymore. And it has nothing to do with that I love Ferris Bueller. It has nothing to do with that.
yeah.
It's just, I was just watching it and I was just kind of like, oh, this is a very pointless. Perfect. By the way, isn't that the boyfriend from Scott Pilgrim?
Yes, we're gonna try to make our Scott Pilgrim reference at every fucking
Yeah,
episode.
so we just made a Scott Pilgrim reference an episode ago, and by coincidence, yeah, it's that guy. I was watching it, that's all I could think about was him coughing up coins, which is not on this list, actually.
No, I decided to put a different Edgar Wright movie on there, but
Well, it's not like an amazing movie, but I like that movie.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
I love that
I think
movie.
it's a fantastic movie.
So what are your opinions about Max Fisher against?
Okay, well, here's the thing. Okay. First of all, Rushmore is one of Wes Anderson's best movies, in my personal opinion. It's his second movie. It's like that. He's still trying to figure out his style, and he's
What's
super
the first
young.
movie?
It's a movie called Bottle Rocket.
Okay.
Which both movies were written by himself and Owen Wilson. And that's how Owen Wilson got to start, was this movie Bottle Rocket. Him and Wes Anderson, who grew up together, made this movie with his brother Luke Wilson, who was in Rushmore.
Well,
And actually, Owen Wilson was in Rushmore as well as the teacher's dead husband. He's in a photograph.
What the hell?
Yeah,
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it counts. So,
But yeah, that was Luke Wilson. He looks a lot more buff and more manly.
right?
Now he's kind of more like
He's a little
gangly
skinnier,
and a little...
And then there's actually a third Wilson brother who plays the gym teacher in Rushmore as well. The one who shows up to the baseball diamond and he's super pissed about them. That's the third that's Owen Wilson's older brother.
Because they're like, oh, you're a couple of yards to the right or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that guy. So, here's the thing. I really like Rushmore. I think it's a good movie. I actually like Rushmore more for Bill Murray's role. I think he is fantastic. I think he's the soul of the movie. He's like the heart of the movie. And I love where him and Max Fisher's relationship goes. Like where it starts and just it takes a left turn about halfway through, and I'm a big fan of it.
And then it was out of nowhere that, like, they had completely different feelings about each other, and then 2 minutes later, and they kept hopping back, and I didn't feel anything in that relationship.
Weren't a fan, Okay.
No, and honestly, the acting was phenomenal. I gotta give it that. That movie is great. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's technically fantastically made. Whereas it's weird. Okay, Ferris Bueller's Day Off isn't a very well-made movie. It's more, I think, about improv than anything. Like, every single shot, I feel like, is improvised. Example, like, one of my favorite jokes in the movie is when he's playing the clarinet.
I've never had one lesson.
Never had one lesson.
Yeah.
Apparently, literally, he was just sitting there on the day, and they were, like, setting up a shot, and then he's like, hey, guys, record this. And then and then they're like, do you know how to play that? He's like, oh, I play it all the time. Check this out. And then he literally just did that. He, like, never had one lesson. And it gets the biggest laugh. But there's a lot of that. Like, a lot of, even like the Twist and Shout parade, a lot of the shots are just random people that were there that day. You know what I mean? Like, there's a kid holding his ears because it's so loud. Like, that's not fucking part of the script. You know what I mean? There's a window washer that's dancing to the beat. Like, you probably just been listening to that all day. You know what I mean? So I feel like, but like, it's so charming because of that. Whereas I find Rushmore, every single shot, every single move the camera makes, it's so choreographed.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it just depends what you like more, right? So, point-wise, what do you got?
I'm trying to at least be a little fair and try to give Rushmore at least 1 point in any category, and I can't.
Really?
I think Ferris is one of those movies to me that I think is perfect.
It's a good movie.
It's the plot, it's the acting, it makes you, sad in some parts, it makes you happy, and they nailed it perfectly for me. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's it. Yeah. So Ferris has got it for me. What about for you?
5 for 5. I'm going to be honest. I actually thought this was going to be closer when I paired them. I thought, Rushmore versus Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They're two, like, students who don't really want to go to school. They're more there for the extracurricular shit. Right. Like, I thought this was a fun pairing, and I thought it was going to be closer. But after rewatching the movie, because I haven't seen either of these movies in a while, you're 100% correct. Ferris Bueller is a superior movie.
So that's the problem for me, is whenever you watch them separately, I can see why you thought it's the same general, like, humor, wittiness. Mm-hmm. But whenever you watch them back to back, there's no competition. And
I literally did that. I watched one and then immediately watched. Right. I watched Rushmore first and then immediately watched Ferris Bueller, and there's just something about Ferris Bueller that it's got it all. It's got charm, it's got heart, it's got emotion, it's got everything. So
I agree. Okay, Ferris Bueller carries on. Sorry, Rushmore.
These things happen.
We liked you, Max Fisher, but
Max Fisher's been expelled from the tournament. Next up, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh
my jeez. You were feeling that one. Oh my god, you were feeling that one. Spoilers. That's as high as my voice can go.
Taking a sip of my adult juice. That sounds awful. Adult juice. I should make
what does?
Adult juice.
I remember when I was the kid and they were like, don't drink it, it's wobbly pop. Now I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Wobbly pop. What?
All right, spoilers. So right off the bat, just throwing it out there, I've seen the movie Rushmore before, at least twice. I don't remember Max Fisher being such a fucking asshole. He is the biggest dick in that movie. He, like, tries to force himself on the teacher, like, 5 times.
Okay.
And every time she's like, all right, seriously, kid, like, fuck
I am so happy you said that, because he was, like, alone, and he, like, grabbed her face hard and, like, pulled in. Like, and my whole body was like, Stop.
He's
Didn't he
so
say he's like
inappropriate.
15?
Yeah.
Because she said at the one scene, like, do you really think this is going to work? I'm 30 and you're 15.
Yeah. No, it's so weird. And then there's that scene where he does the Serpico play. And then they go to dinner and she invites Luke Wilson. And he's such a dick. He's like, sorry, thank you for accommodating us. We didn't realize there'd be a fourth person here. Like, just such a
Just the one part whenever he said, this was my night and you bringing him ruined it.
Yeah,
and you're just like Jesus
You're
Christ,
such an asshole.
And then, but Bill, okay, I get it. He said it to like hook up with her. But he was right. Where to me, I'm like, she's just plain Jane to me. She's not hot. I don't find her personality attractive. But Bill Murray said that, and he's like, why are you so interested in her? Like, I get it now, because he was trying to hook up with her.
100%.
But, like, I actually agreed with him. I just don't find her to be that character for me. To make my tummy go, ooh, ooh. You know, like, I don't find her... Do you actually, like...
No, well, that's the thing, right? And, like, she's definitely not
boring.
Not like a bombshell. She's not, like, you know what I mean, a model or anything. But, like, I think she's very pretty. Like, I think she's very... I think you're right, though. It's very girl next door. Very, like, normal. For, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I like the fact that they didn't cast, like, I don't know, I can't think of anybody at that time. You know what I mean? Like a Pamela Anderson or something. You know what I mean? They didn't cast somebody who was a bombshell, right?
Because, like, to me, that's what Sloane was. Sloane was super gorgeous to me.
Oh, Sloane's super. She's very pretty.
She was. She's definitely, like, up there, you know? So, comparing the two, like... And I think that's also what made it worse, was I watched Ferris first, and then I watched Rushmore, and I kind of...
Yeah, well, that's the problem, too, right? Because, again, I watched them, like, literally one sitting, and Ferris Bueller's... The characters in Ferris Bueller are so charming. Like, even just Ferris Bueller to Max Fisher. Ferris Bueller's heads above charming, right? And even Cameron is really likable, and he's kind of the Max Fisher of this movie. Yeah,
Cameron.
He's kind of like the depressed all the time, like kind of dick.
Well, he lives in a
he's
mortuary.
So likable, yeah. Like he's so sympathetic. You know what I mean? Like you're so sympathetic towards him. So.
I love that movie. Like.
Yeah.
And I know, like, we had a podcast about, like, Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs, and that was, like, an hour long. I could probably do that for Ferris Bueller to me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tame myself to not talk about to, like, you talking about Rushmore.
Here's the thing. One thing about Ferris Bueller that I will throw out there. I didn't really notice it until this time. Okay, so I used to really, really like her final line. Sloane's final line when she's like, he's gonna marry me. I used to think that was the cutest thing in the world. But then I was thinking about it. There's a scene literally right before that when he like looks at the camera and he's talking about how like, this is it for me and Cameron. Like, we got the summer, but we're gonna work and then we're gonna go to different schools and like, we're not gonna see each other. And he's like, and then he says, it's even worse for me and Sloane. She still has a year of high school left.
Right.
He's like, how do I deal with that? And then the next scene is them kissing and then her saying he's going to marry me. Isn't it? It's kind of implying that he knows for a fact that he's going to break up with her. And she doesn't see it coming.
See, you know what, though? I'm going to go against that because there's that scene whenever he looked at her and he said, you know, marry me.
Yeah, but that was way earlier, which is what she's referring to.
In the day.
Yeah.
But, like, he said that.
Oh, 100%.
And you think that he would say something like that he just thought of in that moment? I think he's thought about that, which means I think he would actually marry her.
He does seem very impulsive, though.
He's very impulsive. So you're telling me he was going to marry a girl 6 hours before, but now that it's 6 hours later, he's like, you know.
But that's the thing. I think him looking at the camera and saying that is what's actually on his mind.
Right.
And what he's been thinking about. Whereas, like...
Because I think we, as the other side of the camera, is the inside of his brain.
Yeah, 100%. So, I was just throwing it out there. I thought that was an interesting thing. Another thing that's interesting, so the guy who plays Cameron, he was like 30 when he made that movie. And it makes so much sense. His voice is like so deep and he just...
My favorite is their voicemail at the... It's so like, if you need to reach it. It's the most deepest, sad. Because I guess they own a mortuary or something like that.
Yeah.
Crematorium.
Oh, I thought it was a mortuary. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, well, something. I mean,
It could
might
have
be
been
the same thing.
Whatever.
But that's why, like, everything is so gray in the house, and it's so, like, everything is, like, my type of voice. It's just so calm, and I love it. I would love to live there. But that's why he's always sick, and I actually do believe Ferris for that.
Mm-hmm. Whereas on the flip side of that, where I'm of the opinion that the Ferris Bueller, even though I loved, like, the run at the end, I find the end of that kind of sad, where, like, I think he's right. I think this is the last day that they will be together. I think in Rushmore, it's the opposite of that. I think the ending of that movie is Max Fisher realizing he's been kind of a dick and, like, him forming relationships with people finally.
Right, because he went out with that one chick at the end.
Yeah, who, like...
I think she's adorable.
They do! Like, they deserve to be
Wong
with each
or
other.
whatever.
No, it's Margaret Yang.
Yang.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
she, like... They deserve to be with each other. She's, like, so much better than he is. And, like, but she likes
cute.
him.
I liked her.
Yeah, and
he had good intentions on some of the parts. And then, like, he had a moment where I was like, oh, okay, he could be a decent guy. And then he just killed it for me. Like, the end, they had, like, kite flying lessons.
Yeah.
Like, that is so cute. Like, I love that.
I do love his plays. I think his plays are all fantastic.
The war zone.
Yeah, like Heaven and Hell. And
the guy punched him and everyone stops. He's like, dude, I'm okay. It's okay.
And I love how, like, his old bully, like, gets in the guy's face. Like, it's, like, even that relationship, like, he's had that bully the whole time. And he's like, listen, I think you'll be right for this role. Like,
because he said, like, do you want to be one of my plays? And he's like, I always wanted to be in one of your plays.
Yeah, it's such
because
a
it's
moment.
so funny because it's a whole wrap around him not being invited to Buddy's birthday.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you weren't invited to his birthday party? And he's like, no, I had other plans. But really, it's because if he put him in one of his plays, he would have been invited.
Yeah.
So true. Actually, he's the dick to begin with. But yet you felt bad for him because he wasn't invited to the party.
No, it's true, 100%. But, like, that middle part, I do love the sparring between Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman. A little off topic, but I love, like, I mean, it's shitty that he gets him fucking divorced, but then he puts, like, the bees in his hotel room, and then the next scene is him walking up and grabbing his bike,
and then
driving over,
and
just casually putting it back.
That divorce thing, let's talk about that for a second. I find it so fucking hilarious that he's, like, bringing the wife to, like, the rooftop. She's hearing that, like, her husband cheated. It's, like, the worst thing ever. But he goes, do you want tuna? Or do you
want a sandwich? I got two. I got a tuna one, and I got a peanut butter and jelly. She's
it's like,
I'll take the tuna.
You offered this poor woman whose life is literally, like, turned upside down, and you offered her a tuna sandwich.
But I think she was cheating on him, though, too, right? There's, like, a scene at his kid's birthday party when she's, like, licking the cake off that guy's fingers. And then, like, that's when he goes on the diving board and he, like... So it's kind of implied that, like, she's kind of screwing around him, too, but...
or at least she thought about it. But
yeah.
I just find this... she didn't really look traumatized on the rooftop. No. She was kind of just like, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Because she even said, like, get to the point. Like, let's go. Any other wife would have been, like, crying and...
100%.
Uncontrolled, you know, like, emotions. She was like, I'll take tuna. Thank you. Carry on.
But yeah, so, like, I do like, and I like the ending of the movie. Everybody's dancing with each other, and it's super, like, cute. But man, that run at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off is, like, probably one of the best endings in the world. There's so many good, like, jokes where he, like, run, like the one where he, like, runs through the house and he's like, no, don't get up.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells delicious. And, like, stuff like that. And I love, like, he runs past the two girls that are, like, sunbathing and he, like, stops. He's like, hey, Ferris Bueller.
Hey, how you doing? Ferris Bueller.
Also, I love the fact that the entire town is, like, trying to save money to get him a kidney.
Oh my God.
That is the funniest running joke in the world. I love she's, like, driving home and on the water tower
it says save Ferris.
Fucking genius.
That poor sister, right? Because you can see it all go. Yeah. They're as bad as, like, a group of, like, ladies knitting, right?
Oh,
like,
100%.
So I know she said that line, whatever the quote was, when she's like, he has a cold, and then someone's like, Jerry's dying, and then someone's like, it's his lungs, and then he's on the phone, he's like, I think I'm dying, so now that girl's dead, and it's just like, oh my my God.
Even when she picks her up from like the police station and he's like, hey, how's your son? She's like, what? He's like, tell him everybody at the station here's pulling for him. And she's like, okay.
Adults? Like, what?
But like,
Charlie Sheen, by the way, we haven't even talked about yet.
One of the best. Okay, so. Okay.
How hilarious.
So it's funny. Okay. Yeah. He's amazing in this. And he, like, probably one of the best cameos in cinema history.
Would never expect that.
No, like he's fantastic. And so I'm watching this show called The Goldbergs recently. It takes place in the 80s, and it's like a lot of like riffs on old 80s movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And there's an episode where he's trying to be like Ferris Bueller and like skip school one day, and like the main character, and he ends up in the police station, and there's a scene where he's sitting there, and then you hear the knuckles, and I'm like, who's going to play this cameo? Like, it's got to be, because it's obviously a riff on that scene.
Right.
It's got to be somebody big. And then the camera pans over, and it's fucking Charlie Sheen again.
No.
Yeah. And he's dressed exactly the same, except he's like fucking 50. I don't know how old he is.
Oh, I love that.
And he says literally the exact same lines. He's like, drugs? And the kid's like, no. He's like, what? No, are you in here for drugs? He says, he's like, what are you in for?
What?
Drugs. Yeah.
Drugs. Oh, I love that.
It was,
and then the mom comes in and they're making out. It's like, oh my God.
It's fantastic. But at the same time, and it's so funny that he's the one that teaches her, like, I don't know, the lesson. I don't know if she should even really learn a lesson. I think she's right, realistically, that he does get away with everything. But she does teach him, like, let the fucking kid be. Who cares? Like, be your own thing. And then so when she gets home, she's like, you have to get in bed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be up. Why are you up?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, get to bed. No.
I like it. The movie's, it's really well written. It's a fucking good movie. It's perfect.
So that's the problem. Every time I watch it, I see something new. And now that I was like in Chicago and then I saw that Pink Flamingo statue,
yeah,
I then saw what the street looked like that the parade was on. And it just brings back so many feelings. And I'm like, I was in the same museum they were for the art.
No.
Yeah, I was cool. Like on the same, and it's just cool, right? Where I was like, oh, I love this. I was in the Willis Tower as well. I didn't put my head on the glass. No. I didn't think of that at the time. I should have. But yeah, I was in the exact same window in the exact same time. Like, it's just funny that now it's like, oh, I had a moment.
Yeah. But
yeah, honestly, unfortunately, sorry, Rushmore.
You can't
if anybody has any different opinions and you think Rushmore is better, persuade us.
Yeah, feel free to.
I want to be that guy on the table that changed my mind on the street where he's like, changed my mind. Ferris Bueller's better.
Rushmore. Changed my mind.
I love him. But yeah, like, I honestly try, like, just let us know. Because to us, there was no, it was 5-0.
Yeah.
Like, there was no
competition. Rushmore a point in technicality. Like, it was just technically made better. Like,
well, because it was more thought out and more placed properly.
The cinematography was a little better.
Ferris, they were like, do whatever the fuck you want. We're just going to tell the camera, run, pray.
But that's the thing. Like, that's the only point I can give it. Every other point is it's a fantastic movie. I personally think it's John Hughes' best movie, which is why it's the only John Hughes movie on here. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, well, that concludes that.
Yeah. Sorry, Rushmore.
Sorry, Max. Yeah. Maybe next time, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay. You're not the only Wes Anderson movie on this list, so you get another chance.
Ooh, maybe another list. We could put the losers together. Ooh. See who's the biggest loser on the list.
Oh.
Who was our last loser then? I can't think that far. I'm trying to think of what movies would be together. Anyways, it would lose.
This is compelling stuff.
Blade Runner. Was it Blade Runner?
No, that was one before it. Doesn't
I
matter.
know, but again, those two would be together. But Blade Runner would still lose. That movie was terrible. All right, well, that's it. So, Ferris Bueller, if you have any different opinions, let us know. And
deuces.
Bye.